Would it be? This is still the inequalities unit. This is lesson number 2, student handout number 2, aka lesson number 2. Solving one-step inequalities. As we've kind of already talked about, solving inequalities is the same exact steps as solving equations. It is the exact same. There is one difference, and we will cover that. But for the most part, it is the exact same. There is one difference, though. And we'll cover that in just a second. All right, here we go. Let's get started. Where do roses sleep at night? In their flower bed. Why was the show bad at gymnastics event? Because it was a flip-flop. What should you wear to a tea party? A t-shirt. And what's Rain's favorite accessory? No, not Rain Wiggins. What is Rain, the actual rain that falls from the skies, favorite accessory? A rainbow. All right. Starting the notes. Inequalities can be solved just like an equation, but with a few exceptions, really just one. All right, here's the rules. The goal when solving an inequality is the same as with the equal sign, is to isolate the variable. We're going to isolate the variable by using inverse operations, which same thing as we did with equations. The inequality must remain balanced, just like an equation. But here's the difference. Here's the difference. This is the one difference. When you multiply or divide by a negative, the inequality sign is flipped. Why is that? Because a negative sign changes it. Like, think about the number line. If I change 5 to negative 5, it flips the number line. Like, I have to go all the way to the other side of the number line. It's the same thing with the inequality. When you take that negative across the other side, it kind of flips the whole thing, and you got to change that inequality sign. But you'll see that in just a moment. All right, I'm going to work out number 1. Undo addition or subtraction was the first rule. So I'm going to undo this addition, which is plus 5. I'm going to subtract 5. Same thing as an equation. Whatever you do to one side, you do the other. You're left with n is less than or equal to 11. Okay, coach, I subtracted by 11. Well, that don't matter. Okay, I didn't. That's not a negative. That's just a subtraction. Okay, I didn't take a negative to the other side. I just subtracted right there. So n is greater than or equal to 11. So I want you to draw a number line. So you're just going to do 11, 12, 13, 10, 9. You're going to do a closed dot on 11. And which direction will it go? It will be all numbers less than or equal to 11. So how do we solve that? How do we check that? How do we check that? We pick any number to the left of 11, less than. I'm going to pick 9. So I'm going to go n, which is 9. So let me erase that. I'm going to go n, which is 9. I'm choosing 9. You can choose any number less than 11. Plus 5 is less than or equal to 16. 14 is 14 less than or equal to 16. Yes, it is. Check. I generally would choose the two numbers right next to it, okay? All right, the next one, I'm going to let you work out, but let me pick another one nope, I think you can work all of those out. I'm going to pause the video and let you work those out. Pausing now. Welcome back. Same steps as before, undo the subtraction. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. I am left with C is greater than 22. Go down here and graph it. I'm going to put 22 here. You could have put 22 right in the middle if you'd wanted to, but you do not have to. 22, open dot on 22. Which direction is it going to go? All numbers greater than, so it's going to go to the right. I'm going to check that by picking 23 and plugging 23 in there. 23 minus 8 is greater than 14. That is 15. Is 15 greater than 14? Check, it is. Okay. Number 3, I'm going to divide by 12. And G is going to be less than or equal to 4. Put 4, 5, 6, 3, and 2. It's going to be an open dot on 4, and it's going to go to the left. Same steps as solving equations so far, guys. So I'm going to pick a number, which is 3. I'm going to pick 3. 12 times 3 is 36, less than 48. Check, it is. And P over 3, that means P divided by 3. So what's the opposite to undo that operation? It is going to multiply by 3. Those go away, and I'm left with P is greater than or equal to 20, or not equal to, just greater than. P is greater than 27. So I'm going to put 27 down here. Again, you don't have to make your graph look just like this. 27 could be to the left or right. It does need to be an open dot, and it does need to go to the right, though. I'm going to pick a number greater than 27 to substitute in there. 28. So I'm going to go 20. No, I'm not going to go. I'm going to go 30. 30 over 3 is greater than 9. Is 30 over 3, which is 10. Is 10 greater than 9? Check. It is. Why did I choose 30? Because I was dividing, and I wanted it to be simple, because I know 30 divided by 3 was 10. You could have chose 28, but you would have got a decimal, and I just didn't want to deal with decimals. All right. I'm going to zoom out and give you just a second while I get me a drink to copy any of those. What kind of dance was the Frog Prince best at? Hip hop. What do bunnies like to do at the mall? Shop till they hop. How did the beauty school student do on her manicure test? She nailed it. What's corn's favorite music? Corn. Popcorn. All right. Inequalities, back page. Inequalities sometimes involve the dreaded negative numbers. Remember, when multiplying or dividing by a negative number, we do have to flip, or if your mind likes the word switch better, you can use the word switch, flip or switch the sign. All right, so let's practice that. Let's put that into practice. Practice. We're talking about practice. All right, here we go. What do we have to do to get K by itself? We have to undo that multiplication. That is a negative 4 times K. So to undo the multiplication, we're going to need to divide by negative 4. Now, when we do that, you divided or multiplied by a negative on both sides. You took it across the line. That's a felony. You go to jail for that. You have to flip the sign. Those cancel. K, flip it. Negative 5.5. So let's graph that. Negative 5. Somebody tell me why my graph is going backwards with the numbers. Because I'm on the negative side. That's right. So where is negative 5.5? It is somewhere in there, and it is going to be a closed dot. Which direction am I going to point? all numbers greater than or equal to negative 5.5. So it's going to go to the right. Now I'm going to go substitute negative 5.5 in. So I'm going to go negative 4 times negative 5.5. Is that less than or equal to 22? And I could have chose just 5 instead of 5.5, so I'm going to erase that and just go negative 5. All right, is negative 20 less than or equal to 22? Yes, it is. All right. That was a positive 20, by the way. That was not a negative 20. Coach Spartman's a dummy. Negative 5 times the negative 4 is a positive. Excuse me there. So check. All right. Let's go over here. That is S divided by negative 2. So how do we get rid of that negative 2? When dividing is do the opposite to multiply. We're going to multiply both sides by negative 2. Can't go. That ain't going to work. You got to flip that sign. S negative 10. That's an S, not a 5. I know my S's are not 5s. I'm sorry. S is less than or equal to negative 10. So I'm going to go down here and graph it. That's an open dot. And I'm going to go all numbers less than negative 10. So I'm going to go to the left. Let's go back and plug that in. So pick a number. I'm going to go negative 11. No, I'm not. I'm going to go negative 12 because I like easy dividers. And I'm going to get positive 6. Is positive 6 greater than 5? Yes, it is. So check, 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 check. All right. Now we're going to go down to the bottom, 7 through 12. These are one-step equations, guys. It's just one step. All right. I'm going to pause the video and let you work them out. Ready, set, go. Welcome back. Number 7. We're going to divide by negative 7 on both sides. Got to flip the sign. And you get negative 5. So x is less than or equal to negative 5. Negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 6, negative 7. That's going to be a closed dot, and it's going to go to the left. Number 8, we're going to add 16 to both sides. Let's go away. I'm left with x is less than 27. Open dot on 27. And it is going to go less than, so it's going to be to the left. How do I know which direction it points? Well, if the variable is on the left, then you can just go with the arrow, and it's pointing to the left. But the variable has to be on the left to do that. All right, the variable is not on the left. If you don't like working with the variable not on the left, we can flip this whole thing, okay? We can leave this here. So since you're going to flip that to the other side, you got to flip it. So x is greater than still. All right, so I went ahead and flipped it. You're going to subtract 10 from both sides. That is not dividing or multiplying by negative. That is just subtraction. You do not have to flip the sign for that. X is less than or equal to negative 2. Okay. I'm going to come down here. Negative 2, 0, 2. I'm counting by 2s this time. You know why? Because I can. You don't always have to count by 1s. All right. It's a closed dot on negative 2, and it's going to go less than. So it's going to go to the left. All right. X divided by 8, so I need to undo that, so I'm going to multiply. Those go away. I'm left with x equals negative 24. Okay, coach. I multiplied by a negative. Well, you didn't do both sides. Just that negative was already over there. So you didn't unbalance the equation any. That negative was already over there. So you do not need to do it. It's only when you multiply a negative on both sides. So x is greater than negative 24. So let's go ahead and graph that. I'm counting by threes this time. You know why I am? Because I can. All right. It's going to be an open dot on negative 24, and it's going to go greater than, so it's going to go to the right. Number 11, I'm going to divide by 6. X is greater than or equal to negative 18. The sign did not flip there. You did not divide or multiply both sides by a negative. It was only one side. And that's because the negative was already over there. So I'm going to go ahead and put my numbers here. This time I am going to count by ones. So that's to keep you guys on your feet. It's going to be a closed dot on negative 18, and it's all numbers greater than. What's a ball that you don't throw, shoot, eat, spit, bounce, or catch? I'll repeat. What's a ball that you don't throw, shoot, eat, spit, bounce, or catch? An eyeball. What time of year, this is important, what time of year do the most people get injured? The fall. All right, let's flip this equation. So we're going to take this, put it on the other side, so x plus 7. So it says negative 15 is less than. So we need to keep that the same. Negative 15 still needs to be less than. So I just flipped it there. Now I'm going to subtract 7 to get rid of it on both sides. Again, I don't change the sign there. I'm just subtracting. X is greater than or equal to negative 2 2s. I'm going to count by 2s here. Why? Y'all know why, because I can. All right. It's going to be a closed dot on negative 22, and it is going to be greater than. That's all she wrote today. I'll see you on the flip guide. Adios, amigos.